Brandon Lang standing by on the line right now. Brandon, of course, big weekend coming up. Did you think the word Jacksonville would be coming out of our mouths today?
Listen, I said it. If you redo the tape from last week on your show, I said they buried me against Buffalo. I said they should have beat Buffalo 24-3. I was at the game. It was an embarrassment. I said, you watch. I said, they'll go win this week. I said, you watch. It's exactly what I said on every radio show because they buried me not covering the 8.5. They buried me. But if you really look at it, earlier in the year, Pittsburgh at home, Brett Hundley went in there with Green Bay, a backup, scored 28 on him. Baltimore's offense ranked 29th in the NFL, went in there on a Sunday night and scored 38 on them. So before you go, wow, it just goes to show you, Sean McDermott and Buffalo had unbelievable respect from Jacksonville and how they approached that game against Buffalo. They didn't want to lose the game against Buffalo. They respected Buffalo's defense that much to call that horrible game plan, whereas you could see when they went to Pittsburgh, they watched tape all week and were like, we're going to shred this defense. They are garbage. And they are, and it goes right to what I've said for years. Mike Tomlin is the most overrated and overhyped coach in the NFL. Now, maybe people will start listening when I say that. He's garbage.
Listen, on the Tomlin point, you look at they got a Hall of Fame quarterback, arguably the best running back in the league, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, a great offensive line, good tight end. They got Bryant, their second wide receiver, is very good. He's a starter on most teams. How they have not even made it to a Super Bowl in 5 years is unbelievable.
Yep, and there were major clock management issues, play calling issues. Listen, I get Todd Haley's a horrible offensive coordinator, and I get that. But as a head coach, you have full veto power on what you're doing. He could have vetoed anything they did at the end of the Patriots game on that play call and said, listen, spike it and kick the field goal. That's what we're doing. No nonsense here. In that game with the play calls on fourth down, it's on him. And he does take ownership of it, but it's Pittsburgh's got the wrong coach right now for that talent, and it looks like he's not going anywhere. And it's going to be tough.
What do you think Brady's hand injury or whatever is going on there play any role? And what do you think of the game on Sunday?
No, to me, you look at Tennessee. That's a team that beat Jacksonville twice. That's a Tennessee defense that stopped Jacksonville twice. That's a Tennessee offense that's got a quarterback who can run like a deer. And if you look at those things, they have an offensive line and a running game just like Jacksonville. He was sacked 8 times. That's how good the Patriots defense is playing. So all we're hearing this week is how good this Jacksonville defense is. Well, guess what? Patriot defense just sacked a deer 8 times, and after they scored that touchdown to go up 7-0, Belichick made some subtle adjustments. They didn't cross midfield until that last drive that coincidentally got the game over the posted total, which I also talked about on your show. So I think it's been a great run. This is still a Jacksonville team that went out to Arizona and lost to Blaine Gabbert, by the way. I think the world's going to jump on Jacksonville this week, and I was so impressed with the way New England shredded Tennessee last week, and I will lay the points with New England.
Let's hear it here first, will there be a time, finally, that a home team actually plays in the Super Bowl at home? What do you think?
Well, I think that it's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's just not. What Philadelphia did last week. If you look at Atlanta's offense with Matt Ryan, All-Pro quarterback, Julio Jones, All-Pro wide receiver, Sanu, another great big wide receiver, 2 running backs that are unbelievable. So you look at Atlanta's offense, and maybe not the offense they were last year, but they got weapons all over the field. They scored 3 points last week. The other 7 points they got was a punt that was fumbled inside the 20-yard line that gave Atlanta field position. That's how good Philadelphia's defense is playing. Once again, all they're talking about is Minnesota's defense. But if you watch the second half of the Saints game, they couldn't protect Case Keenum. He was getting knocked almost every pass play. I got news for you. If the Saints D-line on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 7, The D-line of Philadelphia is a 10. You had crowd nose with Minnesota. You had an advantage with Minnesota, and that offensive line could not block the Saints' D-line. They're going to have problems keeping Case Keenum upright. I'm going to go Philadelphia plus points.
You're going Philly and the Patriots. I want to ask you about last weekend quick. Were you impacted at all with the horrible defensive effort by the Saints, the Marcus Williams kid, and were you impacted by the PAT at the end of the game?
Oh, the whole world was impacted by the PAT. But anybody
positively or negatively?
Anybody got excited about it because on Monday night against the Raiders, it was the exact same situation. Monday night against the Raiders, the Eagles returned a fumble for a touchdown. Time expired. It put the game on 9. The line was 9.5, and Doug Peterson took a knee. And so I knew they weren't going to kick it, even though Gene Cacciatore goes, the point after try has to be. You know, everybody got excited. I'm like, they will not kick it. They're going to take a knee. Whole world was in Vegas because the line was solid 5.5, pretty much the entire. We opened 4, went to 5.5, back down to 5, and then pretty much all day Sunday it was 5. So after hitting a great play on Philadelphia Saturday, I laid the points, and I thought the play by Williams. You're taught. Oh, he's a rookie. You're taught just don't pass interfere. Don't pass interfere. And that was what he was scared of. You know, just the same thing with it's just a tough situation to put a rookie in. And Diggs made a great play because the whole world thought he was going to go out of bounds and try to kick a field goal, and he just said there's no time.
By the way, before you put anything down on any game, BrandonLang.com is the website to go to. Quickly before I let you go, Brandon, Kathy is waiting patiently and has a question for you. Kathy in Rome. You're on with Brandon Lang. Go ahead.
Hi, Brandon. Nice to talk to you.
Always, Kathy. How are you?
I have to ask you, what do you think the outcome is going to be of Le'Veon Bell with him playing, and also the Michigan State basketball team starting to rack on a few losses?
All right, I'm going to let you hang up, Kathy, and listen to what Brandon has to say.
Thank you.
Brandon, take it away. She had a saw going on in the background.
Yeah, something.
What do you think,
Kathy? They will sign Bell. They'll give him the money. He's that good. So he will get his money. They won't franchise tag him. Because if they franchise tag him, they're going to lose him next year for sure. When he is a completely unrestricted free agent. So I believe he'll get his money. As far as Michigan State concerned, relax. This little mid-season slide for Izzo and the boys. They're struggling a little bit on the offensive end. Don't worry about them. The team that Michigan State needs to worry about is Purdue. Purdue could be your national champion. They're a legit number 1.
Right.
But I'm in love with the Spartans. I think Izzo will figure it out and get these kids in a position on the offensive end to start scoring.
All right, Brandon, thanks, man. It's BrandonLang.com, and we'll talk again next week.
Got it, guys.
Okay, thanks.